Hi everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination Reading for the sign of Aquarius. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. That is exactly what we're going to be looking at in today's reading. We're going to be looking at what your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time. Now we're going to be first pulling a card here to take a look at what you are bringing to the table at this time. Then we're going to be looking at now what your soul is going to be illuminating for you. So meaning we're looking at what your spirit or your soul really wants you to focus on in your life at this moment. And we're going to look at a block or a challenge around that. And then we're going to look at advice from spirit as to how to overcome it. And then we're going to discover a level of abundance or spiritual growth that wants to come in for you on the other side of this. Now, very interesting. I did Taurus's reading yesterday, Aquarius, and the card here, the Four of Cups, which is what your spirit is highlighting, actually came out in the same placement. So they were also having a similar theme come through here, which is very interesting. Now, first I'm going to start with what you're sitting with. Now, the Six of Pentacles this is where we are evaluating what balance looks like in our physical life experience. Now, when we talk about balance, that can be different for every single individual on this planet. One person can look at balance as working hard and playing hard. One person can look at balance as needing to balance themselves with other people in their life experience. But however you see balance, there's a sense that you are sitting with that energy, trying to find it within yourself. And perhaps there may be also something shifting in your current experience. It could be that you maybe had been in a place of receiving, meaning maybe you were a stay-at-home parent, or you were someone who was working a 9-to-5 job and you received a paycheck from that job. And now the roles might be reversing, meaning maybe now going from being a stay-at-home parent, you might be the one going out back into the work world. Or maybe instead of getting a check and receiving from a company you work for, maybe now you're starting your own business and you're the one now paying the checks to employees. So there's a sense that something might be shifting in your life. Balance, and there's a sense of having to reevaluate balance. What does that look like for you? Now, with what your soul is highlighting for you, the area of your life that is most under review right now is where you feel a level of either discontent, meaning you're just kind of not happy with something in your life. That's what the Four of Cups can represent. It can represent where we're looking at everything in our life and we just don't feel that emotional connection to it. It can also be where we kind of feel like we're the outsider looking in, where everyone else is having fun and we're the one kind of off on our own over here. And if you notice in this card, there's the individual sitting here, and it's like, I always call it the Monty Python hand because I love Monty Python, but it looks like that, right? It's like this cartoon hand coming out of the clouds holding a cup, and the individual is too focused on either what they're missing out on or just evaluating their life. They're too focused on evaluating where things aren't working out that they're missing the cup that's being handed to them directly from their own spirit or soul. It's like your soul crying out saying, here you are, remember this is what you love. Remember, here's your cup, go join the party. And you're like, no, shoo fly, I'm too busy looking at this. And it's almost like, Aquarius, it's time for you to reevaluate more than anything what is in that cup for you, to look over, take the hand that's reaching out to you from the divine. I mean, this could even be someone in your life. I'm getting that feeling more with you here, Aquarius, than let's say what was coming through in the Taurus reading. This is almost like someone around you reaching out and saying, hey, come enjoy a night out with us, or hey, come do this with us. And you're like, no, I have to just keep looking at something. It's almost like saying, I have no friends, and yet your phone is blowing up with people who are like, come out with me, let's do this, let's go here, and you're like, no, I'm too focused on what's not working out over here. It's an interesting thing that's coming through intuitively. Now, maybe because you might have had to have gone through a period of maybe a little bit of reflection, I'll be curious to see if the Hermit comes out here, because I do get a little bit of that feeling. But there's a sense that there's something being offered to you, and maybe it's being offered to you in a different area of your life that maybe you're not normally used to having someone approach you, or maybe you're not used to even paying attention to this part of your life. This could be like all of a sudden you're going back to the work world after being a stay-at-home parent for many years, and you're just not used to kind of looking for yourself in that different environment. And this can also be too where we've just lost touch with our cup, with our needs, with our dreams. We might have kind of gone through life to this point, and it's like, wait a second, I'm not the one. It's almost like you might feel like you're an outsider looking in, or everyone else is having fun and you're over here, but it's almost like because you need to figure out who you are to rejoin the party a little bit. It's almost like you need a little recalibration going on. Now, in your underlying energy here, we have the Nine of Cups, which is a beautiful energy. The Nine of Cups really speaks to having a lot in your life to be grateful for on an emotional level. But it can also speak to there's one cup missing to get to the Ten of Cups, which is that ultimate feeling of fulfillment in the physical on an emotional level. It's that feeling of there's like a wish in your heart of like, I just wish I had this one extra thing, this one thing that would kind of piece it together. Now, underneath this, we have the Page of Pentacles and we have the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups can sometimes represent a spiritual leader. This can represent the unconditionally loving father, a very emotionally in touched masculine figure. But there's a sense with the Page of Pentacles of wanting to go out there with this optimistic attitude of, I want to learn through direct experience. That's what the Page of Pentacles can be. I want to learn through direct experience. I want to get more information. I want to take what I have, and I want to go out into the world and maybe almost offer it up. You can see it looks like he's kind of offering up his pentacle. Now, this could be for some of you, maybe you have a spiritual vocation you want to go into, and it's almost like kind of putting that out there to the world to see what can I do with it. But this could also be, sometimes the pages can be messengers. This could be where there's someone in your life maybe who represents the King of Cups energy, a very emotionally strong and stable masculine. But this can also represent a Scorpio as well, that maybe they're kind of going out into the world themselves. If this is somebody who's directly related to you, this could be where they might be offering you something. Either they're kind of going out on their own, or they're offering you a little something. It's almost like saying, try it. Let's go out and do this together. Here's a little bit of me. And there's a sense of it almost maybe leading to this heart, leading to a place where it's like, oh my gosh, can I make this happen? What am I really sitting with here? I'm trying to, it's so weird. It's like on the tip of my tongue, I can see it. There's a sense coming through very strongly here that there's a change in possibly what feels like balance for you again, that you might be changing something in your life that's changing whether you're giving or receiving. But there also might be a sense of changing something within your experience that is going to allow for better balance in your life. That's going to allow for balance between you and maybe a significant other, if that's what the King of Cups represents. This could also be where maybe balance is coming into play because you're going out there. Now, let's say this is you. Let's say the King of Cups represents yourself. This could be where you're kind of putting yourself out there now into a new arena and saying, okay, I've got myself, I'm emotionally grounded. I have my cup. And now I'm ready to go out there and kind of see what I can do with this, and maybe see about where there might be a heart's dream that has changed for you as well, which is interesting, which is coming through strongly here, Aquarius. So let's see what else wants to come through. There's definitely, I think, a highlighting of balance in the physical and a shifting possibly in the balance, because it's directly correlated to an aspect of your life that you're not feeling ultimately emotionally connected to, or you're feeling a level of discontent around, or boredom even. let's see here. What does Aquarius need to know? Okay, so now we're going to look at the challenge here, your block. Okay, so you have the Three of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, both very fortunate cards, especially to come up like this. There's a sense of being given, okay, yep, and there's the Hierophant. So interesting. You have a lot of similarities to the Taurus reading. So for some of you who are dealing with the Taurus or you have a strong Taurus placement in your chart, I would definitely watch that one as well because it'll give you a different perspective on a very similar theme here. Okay, so bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Cups. Yeah, I thought that would be coming through here. Very similar again to Taurus, so interesting. So there's the King of Cups and the King of Cups. Now I'm going to just say here, there's a sense, because the King of Cups coming in its placement on the table here, this is what's coming in for you. This is the reward on the other side. Now, I'll get a little deeper into that. First, we're going to start with the Three of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, normally, when it would come up, it's very beneficial. It's saying you have a fresh start, you have this ace, and you're ready to look forward to the future and find those who want to collaborate with you in taking this pentacle and being able to build something for the future. It's great. It's building energy. It's starting fresh and it's looking to build. But this being your main challenge, there's a sense here that it's almost like putting the cart before the horse. It's like you see the vision and you're like, I have to build it. This is going to have to, it's almost like you're talking yourself out of something, Aquarius. Because the Ace of Pentacles is on the other side of this, and it's almost like it's time for you to just put the ace first. It's like one step at a time, and the rest of the other players will come into being. It's almost like you're looking to collaborate possibly, or to have help from other people. But it's like first you have to offer up what you have to offer. Meaning, this would be like saying, okay, I want a fresh start in my career, and so what is that going to, that'd be like going out and saying, okay, I need to first partner with someone. It's hard for me to explain how this would come through like that, but it's almost like you're getting ahead of yourself. You're getting ahead of yourself instead of starting with step one, which, what is that step one? That step one would be like, okay, if I want to look for a job, then I should start to join maybe these job search engines or hire a recruiter. And like this, Page of Pentacles, offer up my resume, what I have to offer, what I have to bring to a new work environment. And then that person will go out and help you connect you. It can be the Three of Pentacles, can connect you to the right people who can make use of your pentacle. But first you have to know what that pentacle is. With the Hierophant coming in, and so there's definitely that sense here with the Page of Pentacles here. This is saying, take that pentacle out into the world. Start to share that pentacle with other people. It's almost like saying, I have to build a business fully before I can just start to tell people what I'm here to offer. And it's like, just start offering it to people. The rest will fall into place. It's like, and sometimes sometimes we can have that long-term vision, but we also have to leave room for flexibility as well as to what that will end up becoming. We have to take the first step, and the rest will come towards us. Now, with the Hierophant at the heart of your reading, this is what Spirit is asking you to really look at and embrace to help you kind of get past this putting the cart before the horse. There's a sense of taking the first step, really understanding what balance looks like to you, and understanding too that things might have to change a little bit. But the Hierophant asks you to get to that place of deep spiritual knowing. The Hierophant is what governs not only spirituality to a certain extent, but it's the spiritual institutions that are built, like religion. It can also be other institutions that we believe in and choose to follow, like government institutions and things like marriage. And it can be societal norms that we choose to follow. It can even be the structures within our home or our family dynamics that we have told ourselves this is the way it needs to be. It can also, really speak to our beliefs. But there's a sense here, I always love this image of the Hierophant in this deck. It's like the Hierophant is looking right at this Ace of Pentacles saying, have that internal higher knowing, trust in your gut that what you're being called forward to do, or what you're seeing as this first step, that it will lead to it will lead to the bigger picture. It will lead to possibly forming or changing a structure in your life that you have maybe followed up to this point and that now might need to change. It can also be just trusting your own inner guru, that spiritual part of yourself, that yearning. There can also be a sense here too that maybe you don't believe in yourself. When we think about being able to trust our own inner guru, being able to trust that higher spiritual part of ourselves, there's almost a sense here that maybe for some of you, you don't trust yourself. There's a fear of, if I take this first step towards building something, am I getting ahead of, is it out of my league to think that I can do this? I was like, absolutely not. If you can dream it, if that's the cup that you want, that's kind of being handed to you here. It's almost like you don't believe that that's your cup, or you don't want to face that that's a dream that you want, that's like in your heart waiting to come out. Because on the other side of that, we have the King of Cups and the Prince of Swords. Now, for some of you, if this King of Cups is an individual in your life, meaning you do have a Scorpio in your life, or you have someone that really represents the King of Cups to you, which is someone who is very emotionally grounded. They have that kind of masculine, unconditional, loving quality to them. They're the good listener. They're the person who's going to give great advice. Very much emotionally mature. There could be a truth that is going to be shared here from them. That there's a sense here of having that conversation with this person to say, hey, this is the first step. This is what needs to happen. This is a dream that's in my heart. And it's almost like saying, I need help to make this happen. Because that could be the Six of Pentacles as well, is actually being in a position where now maybe before you didn't have to ask for help, but now you do. As the King of Cups and the Prince of Swords. Prince of Swords, which is also the Knight of Swords in the traditional tarot. This is speaking a truth. This is getting out there and maybe having like that blunt discussion around something, saying this is the new start. This is what I'm not happy about. This is what needs to change or come into balance. And that alone, if you have the belief in the Ace here, and if you have that longer term vision, that can make this conversation very enlightening, and it can also allow you to really, I think, discuss an aspect of your life that you're not happy with, or possibly that they're not happy with. Because again, when we're connected to somebody, that could all kind of be interwoven here together. There's a sense of that. Now, for those of you where this is you, this is an aspect of yourself. This can be where it's time to go out there and share with others from this newfound place of emotional maturity, from speaking to what you love. What are the needs you need to have met? If any of you are in a spiritual vocation, that could be something where this is really pushing you to say it's time to take that step, to kind of step up into a leadership position, which is the King of Cups. Kings are always in a leadership position. They're very responsible, but they lead from their what do you call it? I'm sorry, I'm totally blanking. They lead from the element that they're in. So his is the cup. So he leads from what he feels. He leads from his emotions, and he uses them in his everyday life. So there's a sense here of maybe getting to that place where you yourself are getting in touch with your emotions. And it's hard, I understand Aquarius. A lot of Aquariuses are not great at kind of diving into their feels, or even being able to communicate what they're feeling, because you guys are an ascended air sign. So there's a sense of being very much in the realm of the ether, as I'd like to call it, the realm of thought and imagination. And sometimes you have a hard time kind of sinking down deep into really facing your emotional core and really being able to feel what you're feeling. It's almost like you need to just admit to yourself you're not happy with something, to say I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I don't feel connected to it. And there's something else out there that I'm yearning for. And I want to make that fresh start, but I don't know how to do it, or you're overwhelmed by it. Or you don't know who to do it with. Maybe you don't know who to ask for help. You know you need help, but you're not willing to ask. So there's a sense of really getting to that place of getting deep within your feels, which Scorpio season is and this could even represent the season that we're in, which is Scorpio season, which is asking all of us to take that deep dive and to speak from what we feel. So there's a sense here of really getting clear as to speaking from what you feel around a new start that you would like to embark on. And knowing that, yes, you might need to do this because it's going to help rebalance things in your life. And it's going to allow you also to really admit to yourself what isn't working right now, or where you're feeling discontent, and to speak on that so that the first step towards something new can start. Because at the bottom of this, we have the Three of Cups. So remember when I was saying over here that the Four of Cups is like the individual looking at the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is celebration. It's people coming together. It can be tribe, community. But there's a sense of kind of being the outside looking in. And this is saying that maybe for some of you, it's time to kind of rejoin the party, to say that maybe you are feeling lonely and it's time to move closer to people that you, excuse me, to maybe a community you were around years ago. Or it could be like saying, I'd really like to have the fresh start someplace else. It's like saying I want to move. I want to move because you could be retired. Let's put it that way. Let's use this as an example. You could say you've been living in the same house for 35 years. You have, worked a job, you had your community there, but maybe now at a certain point, now that you've retired, maybe you're realizing a lot of people have moved away. Maybe you had kids and your kids moved away. And then there's a sense of okay, well, I don't really want to stay where I am anymore. But the thought of having to move is so daunting. And then it's almost then all these questions come in. Well, where do I move? And how is this going to affect the balance in my life? And who's going to help me move? And once I move, am I going to have friends? And it's one of those things where it's whoa. Step one, admit to yourself that you want to move. Admit why you want to move. It's going to be saying, I want to move because I want to feel that community, that sense of community again, because I feel like I'm outside of that now. And then step 3 is ask for help. Who can help you start to put the plan in place? You don't need to have all the answers. That's very clear here, Aquarius. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to know what the first step is. And you have to know what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and express it. Express what would make at this time in your life, if you're taking a first step, if you're stepping into the role of leader, from leading from what you feel, then how can you express that in a way that's going to allow others to come towards you and start to get that plan in place? And there's definitely something here around community, tribe, wanting to feel that connection, that emotional connection with others. For some of you might be realizing that there's a friend group that you're not happy with. That could definitely be the case. Maybe you're feeling a little disconnected. Okay. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers now. So for the Three of Pentacles, we have the Four of Swords. Yeah, which makes sense. The Four of Swords is that's that energy that I was feeling right off the bat with you guys as I was starting to pull your initial cards. There's a sense that you might have been in a state for a while of what would I call it? Contemplation, reflection, taking that time to go within and really, really review the pains of the past, things that didn't go right, to really find your truth and clarity in all of that. And you might be reviewing these, you might be, sorry, I don't know why I can't talk through your reading, Aquarius. Maybe this is how you're feeling. Maybe you feel like you can't put your finger on what you're feeling. But I think the more that you sit with it, it will become very obvious, especially if you ask yourself, what is that first step? If somebody came to you today and said, if there's a major change in your life, to change it for the better in a place that you feel kind of about, what would that be? And what would the first step be that you can do tomorrow to start to move towards changing that aspect of your life? Because there's, with the Five of Wands and the Four of Swords, there's a sense of, I think, some of you reflecting on a certain level of chaos or friction in your life right now, where things might feel a little tense. It might feel like there's too many things going on, too many cooks in the kitchen. And there's a sense here really like looking at that and seeing maybe whether this is a repeat pattern throughout your life, and you're kind of seeing, oh my gosh, have all of my future plans always involved chaos and friction? There can also be a sense here, though, too, of saying, I want to build something that's going to have less of that. When we're thinking of balancing out our physical experience, it could be like saying, I want less of that chaos in my life. I want more peace in my life, or I want things to feel streamlined. And so there's a great opportunity to really, look at maybe as part of what you're not emotionally connecting to. You can say, well, what do I want less of? And it's going to help you see what you would like more of. Okay. So let's see. Ace of Pentacles is the Seven of Cups. Let's see. For some of you, too, it could be that either you or someone else in your life has also been kind of in a state of reflection, maybe pausing, and that also might be causing, some issues here, that maybe you want to start building on something, or they want to start building on something, and one person is dragging their feet, and that's causing a little bit of tension or chaos as well. Okay, so with the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, this is saying get into that space of the world's your oyster. There are so many opportunities out there. There's so many other cups. It's almost like saying there's so many other cups to meet. There's so many other fish in the sea. And with Judgment, this is saying that this pentacle, this fresh start, is something that has changed you fundamentally. That this first step, and this could be like, you just got married, or it could be you just retired, or it could be you just became a parent or a grandparent. But whatever has just recently happened, it has fundamentally changed you. That's what Judgment says. You're being called up from the dead. So it means a version of yourself has died, and you can't go back to that old. It's like you can't retire and then go back to, never having retired. It's like you retired. Now you can go back and get a job, but it doesn't mean that you were not at some point retired from being in the workforce. Same thing with being married. You might get divorced later on down the line, which is sad to think about, but it's also, you can never not have been married and divorced. It's like you can never go back to not having been married. So there's a sense about that coming through here, that whatever has happened has fundamentally changed you, but it's also given you a fresh start. And it's saying, it's almost like trust in yourself, in your soul, in your destined life path, that there are so many opportunities that this fresh start can lead you into. So keep that in mind. Really have that kind of open awareness of just how big the world is, and how many ways there are to emotionally connect to your life experience. But it's also like saying there's a lot of other people out there. There's a lot of other places. This is like saying there's a lot of other places to live. If you don't love where you live, well then, my gosh, there's the whole world is open to you. If you don't like your friend group, well, oh my gosh, there is a world of, probably 9 billion people at this point. It's like saying that. It's like, get into, or if you don't like your job. I saw a card flipped over here, I think. Maybe not. We'll see if it comes out. But it's like, if you don't like your job, there's a bazillion other jobs out there. And I'll tell you from personal experience, as someone who has, if you looked at my resume, I can't believe anybody would ever hire me because I have like 20 jobs on there, because I have literally just bounced from job to job to job, outside of me having been in hospitality management for 10 years. And that's because I wanted to find something that felt like it gave me purpose, or I wanted to find something that fit me. And of course, that long that long work history led me to becoming a parent, which definitely is a part of my purpose, and led me here. But there's a sense that I just went out and threw myself at jobs. And I can tell you, anybody who says there's nothing out there, trust me, there is. And if you show up every day, you will get promoted, or it's the same thing with trying to find a new friend group. If you show up every day at certain places where there's lots of people, eventually you'll meet new people to make friends with. It's just kind of the way it is. So keep that in mind. There's always opportunity for a fresh start in whatever aspect of your life this is speaking to. Now, with the Hierophant, here's the Star, and here's the Ace of Pentacles again. So this is saying, do you believe that you can grow this opportunity into your dream? The Star is our grand guiding principle in life. It is our North Star. It is that beautiful dream we have within our hearts that we would love to experience as we realize our life, as we go on that journey. And there's that sense here of, can you believe? Can you believe in this fresh start? Can you believe in yourself to take this pentacle and grow it into something bigger? Grow it into something that on an intuitive level, and as the High Priest, you see that bigger vision. And I saw that card. I think that's the Ace of Wands is flipped over in here. Yes, it is. And there's the Ace of Wands. For some of you, there could be a dream of getting pregnant. There could be, and this might be like, oh my gosh, can I handle it? And it's like, yes, you can handle it. Now, this fresh start could be around just someone in your life getting pregnant as well. The Ace of Wands can mean inception or conception, but it can also be divine inspiration. It can be the relighting of your eternal flame. There can be this sense with almost like the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Coins. It's like, this is the magic, the magic wand that turns that bean into the beanstalk. So keep that in mind here. There's a sense of your passion is enough to feed, to grow the opportunity into what it will become. Whether that is your passion is having a child and you're saying, how can I do this? I don't have enough. And it's saying, if you have the dream and you believe in it and you believe that this is a calling, you will find your way to be able to support this child, in some way. Or it's saying, this would be like saying, I have this passion, I have this little bit of an opportunity, and it's saying your passion is enough to make that opportunity grow into something so much bigger. Sometimes, and I don't know why I feel called to bring this up to you, Aquarius, but I don't call myself a religious person, but I definitely do feel, and I do feel that religion is important at this time. It may become less and less as we learn how to be spiritually aware just in and of ourselves. But there's a sense here of almost like the message of Jesus coming through. And I'm not going to say that you have to believe in Jesus, but there's a sense of the person who Jesus was, or as we know of him today, the story of Jesus, which is someone who just through living their passion was able to take what little influence he had, which was nothing. Really, when you think about it, just an individual living a very basic life experience like so many others, and yet he had a way to change the hearts and the minds of so many, not only in his time, but for generations to come. So keep that in mind, that for some of you who are really, now this is obviously for the ascended versions of, we're not all on an epic quest to change the world. But for those of you who are really in a place of that kind of, can I do this? Can I make this happen? Yes. Anytime we bring our passion to the table, our unique passion, absolutely, yes, we can make it happen. That's the key. That's the key to magic and leaving a lasting impression in this life. Okay, so with the King of Cups, we have the Emperor coming up. So there's a sense here of kind of authority, power. We also have the King of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Lovers. Now, with this, the King of Wands is the energy of Leo. It's the energy of the courageous, dynamic CEO, someone who leads from their passion. So this is the person who knows what they're passionate about, they have the inspiration, and then they run with it. Now, for some of you, this could be about starting a business, very much so with the King of Wands the Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers. This could be, going for what you love, and the time is now. And it's time to step up into the authority of your own life. Now, there's been a lot of, in your past few readings, Aquarius, there's been a lot of themes around stepping up, stepping into your own authority, taking the lead. Now, this could be where you are speaking to this with someone, to tell someone, I want to start this business, or this is what I love, and I'm choosing what I love. With Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers, I'm choosing what I love. I'm going to turn the wheel in my favor, and I'm going to take my passion, I'm going to lead from that, and I'm choosing what I love, and I'm going to, this is the Knight of Swords, and I'm going to lead from that place. I'm making the choice. Let's see what else. Now, this could also be for some of you, if the Emperor is another person in your life, meaning that if this is the King of Cups, it might be that there's another person who is maybe asking you to step into this energy. That could be it as well. There could be another person in your life who's like, hey, it's time to step up and choose what you love. I love you. Let's make this happen. Let's take the first step. That could be that as well. And you're realizing, okay, yeah, you know what? That's the truth of the matter. Because here you have the King of Swords. This is you, Aquarius. Here's you at the end. King of Swords clarifying the Knight of Swords, which is the truth. You know what you know what you know. And there's something about sharing this truth and stating it from a place of authority, whether this is being shared by you or by someone else, saying, this is to be true. Yeah, and there's the Two of Cups. There you go. That's intimate, authentic connection with others. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. Now, the Devil is always going to come up when we are faced with what is happening here on the board, meaning the Devil is going to remind you of where something you once loved turned dark, didn't work out. The Devil reminds us of where we choose to chain ourselves to something, or where we hold ourselves back. It's up to you as the Emperor, armed with your magic wand of your newfound passion, knowing you have a new beginning, knowing that you're a different person today than you were before whatever happened here happened. Whether you're a different person today now that you're married. You're a different person today now that you've had a child or a grandchild. You're a different person today now that you have ended your 40-year career and you have retired. You are a different person today because you are now a college graduate. Whatever has happened here, there's a sense you are a different person. Something has happened that has rekindled the spark within. You have the opportunity to lead from a place of what you love, to choose what you love. And you're craving authentic connection with others. Don't hold yourself back. Don't let the Devil whisper in your ear about the pain of the past, the failures of the past, that you'll never have enough, that you don't have enough to grow this seed into something bigger and better. Because you do. Okay. So let's go ahead here. I'm going to pull a final card for your reading, Aquarius. All right. Let's see here. Now, for some of you who just came through, as I was just looking at the Three of Pentacles again, with the Five of Wands as well, this could be where maybe you've been trying to collaborate with other people. You've been trying to get on board with a bigger vision. And you've been trying to bring what you can bring to the table here, and it's just not working out. It could be creating chaos. This could be, again, when I say too many cooks in the kitchen, this could be where everybody is coming in having their own opinion, and you're like, look, I thought we agreed that it was going to be this. And suddenly, you're getting talked into something totally different, and you're like, wait a second, that's not what we had in mind. That's not what we planned. There's a sense of going back to basics about what you have. What is this fresh opportunity? What is this new start? And kind of going back to the drawing board and trusting in your vision, trusting what initially made you want to maybe collaborate or start something here, and go back to basics and go back to step one and trust yourself. But you also have to speak on this. Speak on this to others. This might not be having to go to these people and say, you know what, guys, I'm not in it the way it is. I got to make a change. I got to trust myself. I got to trust my vision, my dream. I got to step into my authority. And I know what I know, and I know that there are others out there who are going to support me in this. That could be a message coming through for some of you as well. Now, your final message, which I love, has come out here. It says, surrender to inner peace. It says, cultivate inner peace on a daily basis. In quiet, meditative moments, focus on the stillness within and enjoy this inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. And that's beautiful. And I know this is hard to say, like, how can I surrender to inner peace when I'm not happy? And it's saying, because once you admit to yourself what has changed in your life, admit to yourself what has sparked a passion in you. And once you admit to yourself what needs to change to bring balance back into your life, what needs to be shared, then there's a sense of being able to make peace with what is, really get to that place of the King of Cups, which is getting to that, like, understanding your emotions, but honoring them, not getting lost in them, not letting yourself fly off the handle, but instead saying, I have a right to feel this way. And I'm going to start to connect authentically and share from that with others. But I'm also going to come from a place of deep knowing. That's the confidence I was speaking to here, of understanding that you might not see the whole picture. You might not know how it's going to happen, but have that inner peace to know that if you're being guided in a specific way, and it does light your flame, it does ignite that flame of passion, it will come to be. And there will be others who will help you and support you in the process. But you first have to step up and take the lead. Sometimes taking the lead and breaking those chains that bind, that's what brings us inner peace, because we finally realize that we have the control ourselves. You know, and we can give up control to many things in our life. We can give control over to, a business owner, a boss, a workplace environment. And finally, when we get in and say, well, wait a second, I can choose where I work next. I can choose the work environment I want to be in. I can choose, suddenly you're like, yeah, I can do it. There's that kind of sense that comes through. I'm just going to pull a couple extra cards just to get a final message to see. Yeah, Ten of Wands, time to put down that heavy burden. Ten of Wands speaks to carrying a burden all alone. You don't have to this is not a time to carry that burden alone anymore. It's time to realize there's a whole world out there. You can release yourself. The devil probably is that burden. Whatever that burden is, it's time to put that down. It's like saying, I don't have to work for this company anymore. I don't know why I told myself I have to, but there's a whole world out there with 1,000 other jobs and a bazillion other workplaces, and I'll find the right one for me. Or I'll find the new place I want to live, and I'll find the right place, or I'll find the right group of people that support me. Whatever it is, it's time to put down the burden of whatever you've been carrying and realize you have the power to initiate great change in your life, and it will start with the first step. All right, I will leave it there, Aquarius. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me to see what your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see you all in your next reading. Bye, Aquarius.